Hi. That's not fair. Hi guys, it is Friday newsletter time. No time to prepare. She just turned the camera on.
You're on a roll. So
yeah. Oh my gosh. All right, we're rolling now. So today's video is going to be a demo. I am going to carve a sign for this one, and don't ask me why. I shouldn't be, but we have a sign. Somebody had been mentioning. Stop. She's cracking up. We had somebody mention that they would like to see me carve a sign. Now she's snorting. From start to finish. She's rolling on the floor. Do you want to film over here? Or can you contain yourself, Miss Director? You okay now? You all right? Okay, here we go. So, we're going to carve a sign. Unfortunately, guys, we don't have a good time doing this. You can tell. Anyway, so we're going to carve a sign, and I want to talk a little bit about the layout. All right, we got to get serious here. So this sign isn't a full 6 by 24. I think I cut it down to about 20. Yeah, it's about 20 inches. So the top line is going to be outset, bottom line is going to be inset. So the way I laid this out is, and you guys have maybe seen this before, I'm about an inch there, and I'm about an inch and a half. I need to bring that in, actually. This is going to be the edge of my carving, and then I'm going to have quotation marks here. So I'm going to be about an inch and a half to where my quotation marks are going to be there, and I'll draw them in after I've sprayed it, and I've got about an inch and a half there. That's my longest line, and then I center this above the longest line. That's how I generally do my layout. Ooh, you know what? Would you hand me that masking tape, babe? I want to mask off this knot, make sure I don't get any black down in that. There's a little knot right there, and I'm not sure, I don't want to take a chance and get any black down in that knot, so I'm going to just throw a piece of tape on that just to make sure. So basically, this is that new fatty font, and I'm going to carve this thing from start to finish, and I think what I'm going to end up doing is doing a little speeding up on the camera and like a little time-lapse thing. But I'm just going to spray this again with a light touch, making sure those things don't fly on me. You all right now? You contain yourself over there? Smarty pants. So, there's my layout. I'm going to draw my lines, top and bottom, and I might as well do that while we're on camera because I haven't done that for a while. Grab my pencil, just to make sure the tops and bottoms of my lines or my letters are pretty straight. These are brand new layout letters, so they're not caked up or anything. So we've got all 2 inch on the top line and all 1 inch on the bottom line. And again, I'm going to turn that around, and I'm just going to draw my little circles, and those will be little quotation marks. That's what she wanted. All right, so there we go. So we'll be back and we'll fire up the router. Okay, you guys, so we've got rounded corners. Vicki wants a bevel on this, so we'll just put a real quick chamfer on it. All right, guys and gals, we are back. We're going to do our outset letters first. I'm using my profile bit in my little DeWalt 611. So let's get it going. Okay, so now I'm going to do the background around the outset letters, and I'm using the 90-degree V groove, and I'm in my bigger DeWalt, my big 618 DeWalt. So let's just get after this. If I can get my, here we go. Okay, now we're using our little rigid router with a 60-degree V-bit in there, and we're going to do these little inset letters. Here we go. Okay, so I've got some loose stuff back in the background here. So what I do is I use my stiff bristle brush, and I'm just going to brush that really good. And then if I see any high spots, I generally kind of hold it at an angle. And if I see any high spots, I use my little hand carving tool and just take it down so that those spots don't come up as white spots when I go to sand it. So I'm going to finish this process up. It chipped pretty well, so I don't think there'll be too much to do. Looks like I'm almost done now, and we'll come back and spray this thing and sand it off. Okay, I'm doing my normal sand. This is a 40 or 50 grit belt. That's what I'm going to do my first sand with, and then I'll do a finish sand. All right, let's blow it off and see what it looks like. Okay, one more step. We'll come back and we'll put a finish on it and see if that, that grain pops out when we put a finish on it. I think it will. That's a pretty cool looking grain on that board. All right, we'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to put the Krylon Crystal Clear gloss on here because this is just going inside on Vicky's wall, so it doesn't have to have super exterior finish on it. So this stuff works pretty good for inside. Yeah, that's kind of the way I thought that that grain would pop out of there. Now, off camera, I'll go ahead and seal up the back and the edges and stuff. I just wanted to do that on camera. So that is it for this week, you guys. Hope you enjoy this. Actually, we're going to film one more scene. We've got a couple announcements to make, so we'll be right back. Well, I hope that was informational for you guys. I hope you liked it. I hadn't done one like that, and hopefully I can edit this and make that kind of that time-lapse thing so you guys can see the whole process of everything that I did. Appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Special announcement this month, February 21st, which is a Tuesday through that Friday the 24th, we are going to be out of the shop. You can still leave us emails and all of that, but Vicki and I and Dad are taking a little trip, and we won't be shipping any products out on that during that time frame, Tuesday through Friday. We'll be back on Saturday because that Saturday is the LTS, so we'll be back for that. But anyway, so just a kind of an announcement. We'll mention it a couple more times. But anyway, guys, thanks again. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Let me know what you thought of this. And if you want to see more stuff where I'm actually, you know, doing start to finish and actually doing kind of the time-lapse thing, hopefully that will work out. And let me know what you think. And we'll see you guys on Monday for Coffee and Questions. Keep sending the questions. Thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, if this was helpful to you. Vicky's going to sneeze. She held it. Good job, Vic. And we will see you guys on Monday for Coffee and Questions. Have a great weekend, guys. Bye-bye.